All right, so the assignment you're going to work on today, I mentioned yesterday, is the current event shortage and surplus. It is located on the bottom of my website. Make sure you go ahead and click on that. All right, what you're asked to do, again, is create one shortage current event reply and one surplus. So you're going to have two things that you're going to need to review. So just go through quickly the assignment. You're asked to find two articles, one on shortage, one on surplus. Okay, find an online article is your first job. Okay, one with shortage, one with surplus. You will find it much easier to start with your shortage one. That one's much easier to find in the news. My suggestion when you search for this is to use a search engine and to search under the news tab. So going to Google, and I'll show you that here in just a second. You must pick a topic that deals with a good or a service. It cannot deal with money, it cannot deal with cash, it cannot deal with a budget in any way. It has to be a physical product or possibly a service like nurses or teachers or plumbers or a job like that. Okay, it cannot deal with trade either, and it cannot deal with a surplus store that's specifically designed for a surplus store. It could be a store that has a surplus of items, but not designated as an actual surplus store. Remember, the article must be from the last 6 months, so be mindful of that. It has to deal with the United States in some way. It does not mean that a shortage of a component made for computers that's made in Japan cannot be used. If it's a computer chip that is used in computers that we use here in the United States, you're more than welcome to use that. But you need to make that connection to the United States. Okay, include a bibliography as well. So here's all you got to do. It's not a formal document by any means, but it says what is the item currently in short supply or large supply, so you can tell me the item that is currently in short supply is blah, blah, blah. Okay, why is it considered to have a shortage or surplus? So it should say in the article what specifically it is and why it has happened. If they don't give a reason, I'd be surprised. So you should be looking for that. The next big question here is, do they have a plan to get to market equilibrium? What that means is there a plan to get rid of the shortage or rid of the surplus? It could be for a shortage, they are planning to hire more workers, or they're planning to increase the crop production, or they're trying to bring in more of this. Or a surplus could be we're selling items at a cheaper cost. So if it says that, you need to make sure you mention that, but if there is no plan mentioned in the article, you also need to mention that there is no plan for market equilibrium. Okay, and then the last thing is, what do you think should be done? Should certain items remain in short supply or have excess amounts? So it's kind of your opinion. Make sure you type this out, and it does need to be emailed to me. Even though I'm gone, I will be grading these on Friday or Saturday, so make sure that you have those in by email. All right, so how are you going to do this? What you're going to do is just go to Google is a great place to start. And if you were just to type in shortage, you're going to see under all, okay, all we have is really definitions. Okay, it makes it very difficult to find what we're looking for. So what you should do instead is click under the News tab. Now, you're going to be able to find quite a bit of stuff, especially with shortage here. Remember, this is from the United Kingdom, so you'd have to make sure that it connects to the United States in some way. But these are the most recent results for things going on with a shortage, whether it's a good or a service. All right. The other thing you could do is you could go under Tools just to look from the last 6 months. You can go to Recent, you can go to Custom Range, and again, the requirement, it had to be from the last 6 months. So if you go back to December, that would be 3 months. If you go back to September, that would be 6 months. So if I go from September the 22nd to today, this will give me the articles that I can focus on. All right, so they break it down a little bit. Everything is not as recent, which sometimes it'd be a little nicer if you found the more recent ones, but if you have to go back a little bit, you can find these. All right, but if you don't want to use that, you can just go to recent and you'll be able to find something there. So shortage should be pretty easy. If you're looking for a surplus, you're going to find this a little bit tougher. All right, when we type in surplus, and again, I'm under news still, you might see a few things that are included in here, but there also is going to be things that we have nothing we want to talk about dealing with money and cash and so on. So a way to get rid of some of those things is you put a minus sign in front of those words you don't want to appear. So we could do minus money, minus trade, minus budget, and that'll at least get hopefully rid of some of our results that we really don't need. We still obviously have some here, and we might get rid of a few that might work, but this will help hopefully at least bring it down a little bit. So you might have to look a little bit Again, you could put the dates on there if you wanted to, the 6 months, but this might be a little bit more helpful. You'll see a few examples here that could be used. You can see, anything with revenue or surplus, remember, is not be able to do. And so take a look at a few things. Surplus of, spuds. You could see foods in certain areas. You see oil. You can basically pick any of those. All right. So I'm going to do an example for you here. So once you find those, make sure you hang on to that website because you have to do your bibliography. So I'm going to use this as an example. I found this article. All right, first I have to make sure it's from the United States or deals with the United States in some way. It does. I look through it. Okay, is it from the last 6 months? Yes, it is. All right, then you need to do your bibliography. So what you can do is, and you can go to any site that works for you. I like to use EasyBib as a place to insert my website, and that'll do some of the work for me. Okay, so I go to the site. I make sure it says website that I'm citing. I go back to my article. I copy up the link. Go ahead and paste it in there, hit cite it, and I'll take a little bit of time to work here. It says look at credibility, and I'm pretty solid with this one, with this article. Okay, so it says it's gathering some information now. I might hit it one more time, see if that helps at all, otherwise just taking a little moment here. But these are things to look for, obviously, in any type of article that you may need at some point, to make sure that you're finding something that has good credibility in it. So you see author and sponsor and publisher and so on. All right, so they didn't find much information for us, but it helps us at least put it together. So what is our article title? Well, it's easy enough to just copy and paste in some instances. All right, who is our author? I go back here, it is Deborah Pressey. All right, so I go here, Deborah Pressey. All right, the website title is different than the title of the article. Website title could be a couple different things. I just like to use the one that says the News Gazette. So I'm going to put that in here, News Gazette. All right, publisher sponsor, I'm not too worried about because it's pretty much the same as the website title. The URL is listed, that's important. And then what date was this published? So this is published on March 18th of this year. So the date, I'd put 18th, I'd put March, and I'd put 2018. I go ahead and hit create citation. All right, so you could do this, view a sponsored message every once in a while. You may have to go through this if you do this once or twice. So just make sure you kind of have a little bit of time to wait if necessary. You might be able to do one without watching this, but a second one may cause you to have to watch a short little video. So once it goes off here, it should move us to the next page. All right, and you can see our citation is done here. All you have to do is just copy that, and you can paste it in your document. Okay, so that's what you're going to work on today. Do it at the beginning of the hour tomorrow, and make sure you email it to me either through Google Docs or through the Pages app on your iPad.